feels like the weeks have gone by quickly and slowly at the same time. Like it feels like we just did this, but that was a week ago, so it feels like long ago. It's weird. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Strange. Well, to me, it feels like we just did it yesterday.
Yeah. So it felt quick.
Very, very. The weeks are going by fast, though, for me.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you're traveling and always on a new adventure.
Yep. Yep.
That'll definitely keep you that way. Well, anyways, welcome in everyone. If you're just listening in, you've made it to once again the next episode of Duo Jive. If you've already listened in before, you know how it is. We're two Wyoming dudes, one traveling, share just enough to keep it interesting. But yeah, thanks for joining in on another episode, another week.
Another week with Noah and Chris.
That's it.
By the way, it's kind of funny that I shouldn't mention this now, I guess, but why not? Our brand, if you will, Duo Jive, that's on YouTube, and I believe our also the podcast channel is it's got me and you looking at it from your angle, right? And then above me is your name, and above you is my name.
In the video?
No, the graphic, the logo graphic image for the.
Yes, yeah, I noticed that too, and I need to fix that, but we're committed at this point, man.
Well, I was
That'll
just
just,
thinking of mentioning if you happen to see that, know that the names are different.
yep.
You're not Noah.
Chris is Noah, or Chris is not Noah, and Noah's not Chris.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
look at
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Crisscross
yeah.
the names to the people on the
It was,
photo. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, it was funny, and it's funny because I don't, the Bible says don't despise small starts or small beginnings, right, or new beginnings, and I bet most certainly don't. This has been an absolute blast, so it's not a big deal to me, but it might
Right.
be,
It
you know, might be a
it's
big deal
funny.
to someone. Like, I'm confused. Is he Noah?
Yeah. Yeah. Which one's Noah? Which one's Chris? I can't understand it.
Who's the guy with the two pairs of glasses, by the way?
Yep, that's Chris. If anyone listening, the guy with the two pairs of glasses, just to put it into plain context, that's
That's me.
Chris.
Yes, sir. How was your week?
Oh, it was fantastic. I dare say super stinking fantastic. Because it was 4th of July weekends. Pretty fun one.
Yeah,
You know, got an
yeah.
extended weekend. As per
Long
most
weekend.
people, yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty sure most people get 4th of July off. So 3-day weekend. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
Yeah, I did actually. It's funny because the guys that are here, the crew that's working here that caused my company to have to send somebody over here. They all wanted to go back home to Oklahoma and Texas. So they all left on Wednesday night, I believe it was.
Wow.
So if there's nobody working, I don't have to go to the plant. That's kind of cool. And then so I took that day to work on my RV and work on my car. And I did a lot of work to my car. I installed a 300-watt inverter. It's quite a bit overkill, but I ran some really fat wires back through the firewall into the cab, and it took a minute or two because I'm not as young as I used to be,
Hey,
squirreling up
man.
in tight spaces and stuff.
Still got your project, still working towards something, you know?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. And I had to do that because my satellite is running in my car. Matter of fact, we are having this fun meeting today via Starlink.
Well, it
And
seems
my
pretty clear.
Starlink Mini. And, it's, in order for me to have that in the car, I'm not just powering it off of a little bit. Well, what I had in the car was a little bitty inverter providing power to, just stuff, cell phones predominantly, and my iPad periodically. Wasn't enough. So,
Well,
yep.
it sounds like you're coming in pretty clear through it, so that's good. Seems like it's doing the job.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Did you do
I
anything
could
for the 4th?
well, no, actually, I worked on my car. I
That was it,
continued
huh?
I continued what I was doing on Thursday into Friday, and then on Saturday I made preparation to go over to Davenport, Iowa, and visit Abraham Lavoy,
Mm-hmm.
and he was elected into a freaking awesome church over there, and some amazing people, and I got to meet all of them and spend some time with Abe. We went to lunch, and it was a really good time. It was a really, really good time. Enjoyed the 4th of July for what it is. It's Independence Day.
Get to
Our
see some
country
fireworks?
our country is now almost 250 years old. I don't remember seeing any fireworks, but I heard them in my RV when I got back Sunday. evening. And did I ever hear some fireworks? Oh my god! And also Friday night, because I was here. It was pretty late before they stopped here. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know,
Nice.
I'd hear,
That's an appropriate 4th of July.
yeah, oh man, yeah. So I'd hear booms and crackles, quite late, and I didn't mind it at all. I was very happy that people were celebrating what we stand up to stand for, as a country.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about.
What about you?
Celebrating freedom together. We stayed in town, so we hunkered down. We didn't do any traveling or anything for 4th. We kind of just hung out with Tiff's family and enjoyed family time, did some burgers and some hot dogs, and then ended the night with the town that we're in, did fireworks. They had a big fireworks show that we did. And then we drove down the street. We had to go to the next county over. We went and picked up some fireworks, so that was fun. Got to light those and kind of do our own little mini fireworks show and then end it with the big finale. Fun
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Traditional, more
I did see
traditional 4th of
pictures.
July classic. Yeah, yeah, it was fun. We had a good
Yeah,
time.
I could the pictures that you took of Lincoln, in between you and Tiff, it was
Oh yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
He
it was
couldn't take
fun.
his eyes off that sprinkler. He was like,
He was pretty concerned. Like he was a trooper. He hung in there. For anyone listening, he is 10 months as of this 4th of July, so he's a little guy
whoop,
and
whoop. Yep,
he hung in there pretty well. We had to we did our due diligence with keeping him, distant from everything, but he did
sure.
well and there was only a few fireworks that kind of startled him, but he did good.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Oh man, I wish I could have been there. That would have been fun. He uh
Yep.
he couldn't. It just cracked me up because he couldn't take his eyes off that sprinkler spot.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know.
He loved it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's good. So you had fun, and you
Oh
had a
yeah, I
long
was
week.
blessed.
Did you
Yes,
were you
extra long.
were you guys just off for the fourth, or did you take off before that, or
We were just off for the 4th, so the 4th was on Friday, so it's just an extended weekend,
yeah,
which was
3 day?
nice. 3-day weekend, can't complain.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. It's
Anyone else out
one extra
there?
day to sleep in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's it.
All
Yeah.
right, awesome. Well,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations. And I'm sure everybody else, most of our listeners, had a chance to celebrate it, hopefully, the ones that are in
Yep.
country anyway.
Happy late 4th of July to everyone listening.
Yes, yes, very much so. It's a big deal for us Americans because we're almost 250 years old. Think of
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, we're almost 250 years old. But it's a very powerful 250 years old as far as celebrating uh, the republic. It's a republic, and it's one of those few countries that provide a republic to its people. So we're very happy.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a chance to talk about our social media channels today?
No, I haven't mentioned anything yet. Definitely go and give us a follow or go check us out. Just go and check us out. I know that we're just go down below, whatever platform you're listening on, just go ahead and take a look down below in the description. We should have both of our social medias tagged, both of our Instagrams. So go ahead and give us a follow, like and subscribe. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are and DM us, start up a chat
Doing a, you're doing a freaking fantastic job with them, by the way.
on the.
The Duo Jive stuff. So I've been,
Thank you.
and then of course your personals. I've been entertained, and for me, it's an amazing way to be able to stay connected. With everything that's going on.
Yeah, you can kind of recap on where you're at, and the YouTube ones are fun. Yeah, the little shorts and everything like that. They're a fun time. Oh
Well,
yeah,
since we're recapping, what do you think about me recapping just a second about last week? I understand we had a little bit of pushback or flack, maybe, with regards to what I said last week.
are you talking about the
Dad
the
jumping off the
cruise?
Disney cruise ship.
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. We can kind of get some more context in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were, and well, I guess what's remarkable to me is that as of right now, as of whatever time it is today, 7:30 Central Time on Tuesday evening, the 8th of July, I think, is it not? There's not much out there with regards to that story regarding how exactly it happened. The only thing that we've gotten is this young girl, 5 years old, not seven. I said seven last week. This young girl of 5 apparently fell backwards and through a porthole on the fourth floor of this Disney ship. And the dad did the right thing. Some people have been calling him a hero on a personal level. I don't. if you, one of my three children at the age of 5, would have gone overboard, there would have been no hesitation whatsoever for me because of how much I love you guys, and that's the responsibility. Dads have an obligation to do exactly what he did. So it doesn't make him heroic, it makes him dad.
Makes him
That's
dad.
my take on it, right?
Yeah.
I used the word idiotic last week when talking about him, and I think that's what offended some people. And, sadly, the fact that this young girl was able to get away from mom and dad in a place where she was able to do something like she did, right? So let me just give you an example. If you and your brother and your sister and your mom and I, we've been on planes, trains, and automobiles, right? And even some ships. Did some commercials on cruise ships, as a matter of fact. uh in your growing up, if you or your brother or your sister were going to be in a place where there was a potential for any kind of harm, whether it was falling into something, going somewhere, walking into something, whatever, it was my job, it wasn't heroic at all. My job as dad was to be between you, to know there was harm, and to be between you and whatever harm there could be come about. And so if I would have let you, either one of you kids, get near a spot where you could fall to some place, I would have been an idiot. I'll be the first to tell you. And that's where that comes in. And I still stand by it. I'm sorry, I'm not taking anything back at this time. Now, we may find at some point that, or hear or find out that there was something so far beyond his control that,
It's
I
difficult to
mean,
judge when you don't know the whole context. Yeah, I get what you're
exactly.
saying there.
Exactly. That's where we're at. So that degree of idiocy still does exist, but that doesn't change the fact that he did the right thing, and I'm very proud of him and happy for him because it turned out the way it did. I'm still looking to find more information on the girl's condition because she
Yep.
fell a long way into that
Yep.
ocean.
Yeah, big time. I mean, you're talking stories worth of
Yeah, I'm hopeful.
distance. Well,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, as far as everything, the way that that story wrapped up and seemed to have wrapped up is it kind of, yeah, everything was resolved. That mom and or dad and daughter made it safe back to the boat. Everything kind of
Right.
resumed, and everyone
Right.
was okay. So everything's good standing, and the fact that there wasn't more to that story is a good thing, in my opinion.
Do you? That's your
Yeah, I
opinion.
mean, yeah, because if that story became more, then that means that it meant there was more serious injuries, there was whatever that could have come of it. Instead, they made a full recovery, one would assume, and the story ended there.
Yeah. Well, and it's none of my business, right? That whole story. It's none of my business whether they how they did it, how it happened and fell in. It became a big story, right? And we were commenting on it, which was fascinating nonetheless, and that's the reason why we were talking about it. But yeah, it was really none of my business anyway. Truth
Hey
be
man,
told.
we're just talking about the what's new and what's kind of
Yep, making
news in
news.
a way.
Heck yeah.
Which brings me to this topic, the news this week. This one's actually pretty devastating, more so than that. The flooding that happened in Texas
Yes.
regarding the camp and the everything that's kind of been kind of devastated and the tragic losses that have come of it, which is very unfortunate. And
And
condolences
that
to everyone out there
truly,
and to the
yeah,
families.
truly tragic. The Camp Mystic on the Guadalupe,
Camp Mystic.
there, Kerr County, I think it is, Kerr County, and the devastation and the loss that those parents and those and the employees as well of that area, and then also the people that there were a lot of people. We're almost near 100, if I'm not mistaken, deaths.
I didn't know that there was that many. I was kind of
It was over
I
80.
was kept in the loop, but not too much. What's that? Over 80? Wow.
Over 80. Yes, it was over 80. And I don't know how close to 100 we may or may not be, or as a society or a culture. But I mean, to imagine that kind of devastation is hard. And as a parent, to know that your children, there's nothing you could have done. That's wow.
Nothing. That was a freak accident.
Very much so.
And there was
Nobody had
there
any
was no
control.
time there was no time to prepare or anything.
That's correct. And then there's a lot of information floating around out there about the National Weather Service reporting this 2 or 3 inches of rain when in all reality it was feet of rain.
Well, it doesn't help whenever, regardless of how much, when you have a river that's already full and then some rain added to it, and the quickness and the hastiness that comes of a river that floods is insane. It just climbs and climbs and climbs, and it keeps going.
Phenomenal. And it's hard to imagine, really. But again, I'm going to be judged for this, right? As a parent or as a guardian. So, like, say, for example, I let you guys go to a camp. The people who are the guardians there, the people who are the counselors and the staff, they have taken responsibility for your well being, in my opinion. And I'm not letting you go to that camp by yourself unless I have some confidence in the fact that they're doing a good job and they're going to be looking out for your well being. This is life. This is normal parental responsibilities there. And if people don't have kids, they don't understand that. And even if I know that you're going to be in an area that is a low lying area by a river, I'm going to know the conditions of that river at all times. That's me. That's me. Am I weird for that?
A little bit. Yeah, most people don't think about the nearby river whenever they bring their kids to camp.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna be
blows my
honest.
mind.
Yep, they think about the people that run the camp and they think about, oh, well, camp involves kayaking and all of this stuff, so please make sure that you are attentive of children when they are near the lake, near the river, doing activities in the
Absolutely.
river, doing activities like archery, which is still dangerous but not near a river, and all of that. Whenever you
Right.
incorporate something like a freak storm, nobody truly can prepare themselves or say, especially if this isn't a common occurrence that happens like once like a week or something like that, and this is like once every 10 years type of scenario. You
Been a
can't
long
be the
time.
one exactly that. I mean, that's even more so the reasoning behind not thinking about. It's like taking your kid to a camp in the middle of a jungle and then so, like a fire happens. It's possible, but it's very highly unlikely. It's not as common. Then it doesn't happen like all the time, and there's nothing that you can do about it at that point. It's there's You're already at a point to where it's you can try your hardest, but it's too far gone, and it happened too quick, and it's too devastating. I mean, it was just unfortunate to say the least.
As a parent, when you guys were that age and you went to camp, I became a counselor at the times that you guys were going to these camps. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you were definitely involved. That's very true.
Well, and it was a twofold reason for my involvement. First and foremost, I wanted to be close by in case of emergency because I was going to whisk you up and get you out of there if necessary, or I was going to intervene if there was some bigger problem that I saw or heard developing. And I tried to stay out of the limelight or stay out of what you guys were doing, just close enough to move if necessary. I don't understand why every parent does not feel that way. I don't. I don't understand it. And then I most
I don't
certainly would
know.
have
I guess in today's society, in a way, today's society, taking your kids off to camp and just,
dropped them
bringing them
off.
to camp is your escape. Yeah, dropping them off and is your escape, kind of giving you a break while they're there having fun, having a good time. All good things, all good things. It's not out of spite or anything like that or hatred. It's more so, like they get to
No,
go and explore, they get to go have a good time, and then I get some peace of mind and get to play catch up, whether it's at home or whatever. And kind of like a best of both worlds scenario. I mean, like if we partnered with the exchange student program and we had an exchange student come with us. If let's say I joined that, you wouldn't have come with me if I went to
Australia.
Australia or Japan or something like that.
There's
It's
a lot
kind
of
of that
truth.
scenario, but it's a lesser degree because we're not doing something crazy like Japan. You were just a more than average involved parent, and that's awesome. I'm definitely thankful for that because then you were there to hang out with me and just be a part of everything, even whenever we were doing stuff with friends and all that good stuff.
And I
it's just
got to
that
play.
kind of
I got where you'd hide.
a manhunt.
Yes, you guys were playing Manhunt all the time, and I got to play it just because I was hanging around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That made it fun.
And we just had a blast. And well, I'm not judging other parents by any stretch of the imagination. I want
Yeah,
that
I
to be
mean you
clear.
can't. I mean it's unfortunate that circumstance through and through. It's absolutely devastating and deepest condolences and hopefully everyone's able
Very
to
much so.
kind of gain some sense of peace and I mean it's impossible to do or some closure even, I mean it's just
That'll be
it is
a long
devastating.
time
Yeah.
coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My heart goes out to the parents and the survivors. You know, my heart can't go out to the kids because the kids are.
It's definitely
Oh,
the last thing you want to bring up whenever you're talking about a new item or topic for the week, whenever you're trying to think of something a little more upbeat or, fun. Instead, you have to, occasionally something like this pops up and it's just it's unfortunate.
absolutely. You know, we are blessed. You guys have God has blessed us with y'all, and thankful that we get to do this. I'm having
Yeah,
a
I
blast.
mean, yeah, good, good. I mean, I guess I don't want to move too off topic and too heavy, but kind of moving on and kind of just
Yes.
there's no real good place for it. I did do a little bit of traveling this weekend, this
Good.
past week. I guess I should say we were planning on going out of town this past week right after the 4th of July and ended up postponing it, and we went Monday instead and did a little bit of running around, went down to FOCO, which is also known as Fort Collins, Colorado. To anyone out there listening, if you guys are familiar or not, Fort Collins, Colorado. We did a little trek down there to get some Krispy Kreme, and you can never go wrong with some Krispy Kreme donuts. So we went
No.
down there, we got some of that, and came back. That was
No.
the
Wait a minute. Wait.
extent
Wait.
of it.
Wait. So there's two things at play here. You traveled on a Monday, normal work day,
It may have played hooky.
and secondly, you did a cheat day on what is not normally a cheat day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Krispy
Whenever
Kreme not cheating?
Krispy Kreme is most certainly cheating, but whenever my calories are still below deficit, I can eat as many Krispy Kremes as I want. There's your
God.
problem right there. I did two Krispy Kreme donuts and I was still below deficit.
Wow. Wow.
You can't think that this is healthy, so I'm unhealthy, or this is healthy, so I can do healthy, or this is unhealthy, so I'm doing unhealthy. It's all about the deficit. It's all about eating less than what you burn. So if you keep that in your mind, you can eat whatever you want. It's just less of the good stuff, or less bad stuff.
Well, okay, and you're right. You gotta have a different mindset. You know,
Well, I mean, it does. Yes, there's a change in the way you think
right?
naturally over time.
All
It's
the
very
way
true.
around. You got to have that before you even start the program. If you're gonna count calories and
Yeah,
macros, yeah, absolutely.
yeah. But
Well,
it was fun. We went down there. We got some Krispy Kreme donuts and came right back. Played a little bit of hooky, and it was fun. It was a good time. And then ran a few other errands, but that was the extent of it.
right on. Anytime you guys get to spend together like that, dude. That's awesome.
It's fun. Yeah. Yeah. We look forward to whenever you're down there and we can come visit you.
Yeah. Well, that's coming up from what I've been told.
Exciting, exciting stuff. A little bit of more traveling.
Expected to be in Denver on the 6th of August. Actually, that's what I'm being told. You know how plans are. Best laid plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can
Take that with a
definitely
grain
go.
of salt.
Yeah, right. But I'm looking forward to it if it's true. If it works out that way, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's why I even considered those opportunities. And God blesses every day. You know, just going to
Yeah,
bless me more.
very much so.
You get down
Proven
there.
time and time again.
Yes,
But
sir. Well, good. You got to travel.
yeah, yeah, didn't get any ice cream or anything, but donuts. It's a good replacement.
I did the ice cream. Thank you
You
very
got
much.
ice cream this week.
Well, what's funny, was my excuse, right? I knew that during the episode I was going to want to talk about a new ice cream. And I knew you were going to be talking about a new ice cream. Little did I know I was getting the jump on you, but I just knew that it was coming up. So, of course, I made it a point to go to my friendly little neighborhood ice cream place right outside my
That was
RV
just
park.
so conveniently placed.
Well, yeah, right. That I make it a point not to go to unless I'm doing something like this. Anyway, I
Mm-hmm.
did. And this place is absolutely delicious, man, by the way. I mean, this place is just freaking awesome. Well, but I prefer soft serve.
Okay.
I, I Probably because I'm old in my teeth. I don't know, but I just prefer the soft serve ice cream, and they have this amazing vanilla cream.
The classique.
Yeah, it's very. And I walked up to the window and I told the lady here, I gotta get her name because I'm going to talk about her. But I walked up to the window and the lady goes, "Okay, what are you going to get today?" Because the last time I was there was a week ago and I got a small soft serve cone. And she goes, "Are you going to do another cone?" I said, "Well, you know what I'm feeling today? I'm feeling caramel." I'm sure she gets that all the time, but that's what
Okay.
I said. That's what I
So
said.
just
She
a
goes,
drizzle on top?
well, no, actually, I said, I'm feeling caramely. And she goes, well, I can make some recommendations. And I said, okay, go ahead. And she said, I've got this caramel sundae that has nuts in it, cashews, mind you, and it's to die for. And I said, well, that sounds really, and with whipped topping and a cherry and all that stuff. So I said, well, that sounds really good. Can I get one of those? She said, absolutely. And I think the reason why she remembered me was because last week when I walked up to the window, she asked me how I was doing. And of course, I gave her my response. And she goes, oh my God, that's the first time I've ever heard that. And then when I walked up to the window yesterday, she goes, how you doing? I said, super stinking fantastic. She goes, I remember you. So
Yeah, that's
you
it.
know that's how that all happens. And so she made me a caramel sundae, and I asked for a small, and the joker was massive, dude. It was massive. And
It's like
and
going and
so
getting ice cream in Farson, a little town in Wyoming, one of the little towns.
yeah,
There's a little town in Wyoming that's called Farson, and when you
yeah,
go, they have one store. It's one
yep,
convenience store. That's it.
mercantile, yes,
Not even a, it's not even a gas. It's just a little, yeah, mercantile. And
mercantile, yep,
they have an ice cream shop, and you can go in, and they have scoops, normal, large, small, medium, and then they also have a baby scoop. And you're like, oh, I'll be sweet, I'll get a baby scoop. The baby scoop is bigger than your average large, to put into perspective. So that's exactly
exactly.
where my mind goes when you say something like that.
Yes, it was just like that. That was a very good comparison. And then, of course, Farson, they didn't have it here, but Farson has the huckleberry, I think, flavor.
Yes, Huckleberry's big up
Which,
here in
whoop,
Wyoming.
yep, it's right on. And they didn't have that. They just had this caramel sundae as far as what I was kind of craving, and it was a good choice. It was a very good choice, and it took me quite a while to finish it, but I did. And I felt bad because I felt very very piggish.
Well, I will say you have to name drop for everyone out there. I mean, you got me so intrigued. You make me want to come visit and try this ice cream. The least you could do is just tell us what it's called so that way anyone listening can go try it out and
Very
tell
good.
us
It's
what they
John.
think.
It's
John's.
John Ice Cream Shop, and it's been there for a long time, I could tell. And it's on Main Drive going into Marseille. Now, some of the people here call this town Marseilles because it's spelled just like Marseille in France. But I call it Marseille. Some of the people respect it. Some of them get kind of look at me like, oh, they're
He's
cross-eyed.
an outsider.
This this guy coming into our town, pronouncing it like a town overseas or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was very good, and I'm gonna do it again next week, and I'm gonna
Well, yeah,
try
of
different.
course. You got to save it for your cheat day. That's what I'm doing.
Yep,
I'm looking forward and
yep.
figuring out what I'm going to do next. I even thought about the idea of going all the way down to Denver once again. You know, I just can't get enough of it. Maybe I might mix it up and go over to Salt Lake City,
There you go.
but go downtown and hit up a Cheesecake Factory. Walk in, go, "Can you please get me a cheesecake to go? Don't tell me what flavor it is, thank you." And then go to a hotel or go home or
Is that
whatever
what
and
you're
open
saying?
it up and see what flavor I got. Kind of leave it a
Dude,
mystery.
that would be a mystery, and that would be a hard one to have to contain till you get home. My goodness,
Right?
or
That yeah, drive like that, yeah, 4 hour drive. That's a
man,
long time. I would probably just have to. Well, I would of course
staying up.
go and eat. So I would go eat, and if we stayed the night there, I would leave and say, "Can I please get a cheesecake to go? Don't tell me what flavor it is," and then find out when later that evening for a
Now,
cheat
what if
day.
they bring you a flavor that you despise?
I really hope not. That's the beauty. That is where I consider it living, because then you're playing this game of like, am I going to enjoy or am I going to not like it? Or maybe it's something I won't like, but then I ordered it and I'm like, or I didn't want it. I would have never ordered it. I got it and tried it and discovered this is actually really good. It might become a new favorite? How would you know unless you try?
Than something you wouldn't have tried ordinarily, and
Exactly.
hooked you up. That's
Something
all.
out of the norm.
That is fun. That is fun, and I
Yes.
think it would even be more fun if there were several people doing the same thing. Don't want to know what flavor it is. Just hook me up with one to go,
And we see
uh,
what each person gets as a flavor.
and then when we get home, that's when we find out, right? And then, of course, if somebody doesn't like a flavor and somebody else doesn't like a flavor, they can swap. Makes it even more fun. Yeah, man, it's a good
Yep.
idea.
Might have to do it.
Yep, and that makes a good episode for Instagram.
There you go. Another video down the hatch.
Yeah, yep.
All while trying a new cheesecake flavor, getting
I'm waiting.
everything out of it. Okay.
I'm waiting.
Yes, that's
You're done.
sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that might be a few weeks in the making. We'll see. In the meantime, it's just enjoying summer and doing summer activities, all that good
Yes,
stuff,
sir. Yeah.
soaking it all
Yep.
in.
Right. We're in that time of year.
Did you happen to look up anything as far as the big, beautiful bill? Did you happen to look up any more context on it?
There's so much information out there, right? And you can go anywhere and hear almost anything about the big, beautiful bill. So what I did was I researched to find a guy that I used to follow. I don't know how in the world he fell off of my follow profile, but he's a guy first and foremost that I can trust. I always knew I could trust him. And so I made it a point to find him and hear his take on it. Now, this is a guy that was a staffer for Trump in his first term, and I think still has some to do. His name is Preston Myers.
Preston Myers?
His last name is spelled Myers, and he's on TikTok, and he's also on Instagram and a couple of other channels. You should probably follow him. Gay, but a conservative, and very, very intelligent. I think he's an attorney, if I'm not mistaken. And when he comments, you can tell he's commenting without prejudice. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the thing you're always looking for. Just like anybody else, when you like a candidate, which he enjoyed Trump becoming a candidate again, there's bias. It don't matter who you're talking to, there's going to be some bias, right? But I knew that Preston was going to try very hard to comment on this. But first and foremost, it's intelligent, right? Very intelligent and very thorough commentary on the big beautiful bill. I wanted to see what he had to say because I had heard a bunch of arguments on the big beautiful bill, and the big beautiful bill is doing so much good for us. I don't believe there are any cons. I don't know. I haven't found one yet, but I know that there's got to be a couple because that was one of the things that really ticked Elon, why he
Yeah,
kind of
Elon
had.
Musk, as far as well, it seems as though a big part of his agenda was moving towards more of a gas-based industry, oil and gas and all that stuff, and just boosting that whole industry, and kind of sidelining the EV industry, which could have been a big part as well. There's probably a lot more to it, but I can only think that that's where it kind of began, and then grew from there.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. Well, I do know that the big beautiful bill does take power away from Washington, and that's one of the reasons why some people don't even need a good reason to hate the bill or have a good reason to hate the bill. They just hate it because it's taking power away from. And when I'm talking about power, I'm talking about the purse strings away from Washington. And that's a beautiful thing. It takes money away from Washington, gives 33 million seniors some tax breaks. It gives farmers are getting huge tax breaks. And this is good, right? These are things that are absolutely wonderful. Everything I've mentioned is just like a phenomenal. Medicaid money is being taken away from Medicaid, but you got to understand the reasons. Now, if anybody tells you that they are losing their Medicaid, they're lying or they're admitting that they were frauds. Now, here's why. Because what the government is saying now in the big, beautiful bill is first and foremost, Medicaid is a state run function, if you will. It's not run by the federal government, right? So when Trump says, well, we're going to do this with Medicaid, he's not necessarily taking it away from you. He's giving the states more control, but then again, taking away control when it comes to fraud. The states have been doing some big problem, if you will, costing trillions, by the way, costing Americans trillions by cheating the code. And so Trump said, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. You got to legitimately be in need when you come to your state and get your Medicaid, or we are not going to underwrite your state. Well,
Which
that's
should be the case from the beginning.
absolutely, absolutely. So, Illinois swindled something like 40 billion last year. People don't know that. But the state of Illinois, being a swindling state, by the way, swindled $40 billion, and that is what Trump was saying. Okay, we're not going to underwrite that. We're not going to match those funds. We're not going to. Sorry, you guys are going to have to first. You're going to have to verify eligibility each year on each person participating in your program. And they came up with a system whereby they could do that. They could report quarterly where that money's going. The states would have to. And if you're an able bodied adult, you have to, you're not getting Medicaid. An able bodied adult between the ages of 19 and 64, you have to, and if you are getting Medicaid, you've got to put in 20 hours a week on a job or in community service, whatever that is approved by the federal government in order to be eligible for that Medicaid. They want the states to prove that before they come back to the government and say, okay, cut us a check for 40 billion.
So overall, it sounds like that's definitely a pro to the big beautiful bill.
It is an astounding pro. And I don't
So,
think
and you said you haven't found.
I haven't. I haven't. And what I've not seen is the money that Elon, from what I understand, Elon got upset about some money being spent. And I believe I heard a commentary from another TikToker about the fact that the big, beautiful bill gave money to the Democrats that went to certain communities that were not necessarily needing to be served. And Trump's, I understand what I hear, allowing that or included it in the bill so that he could get it passed.
You got to give me one con.
I mean, I gave you the only thing that I was aware of from another commentator. I haven't read the bill, by the way. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go to commentators or influencers that I knew had been proven themselves to be reliable. Nothing that they've reported in the past was unreliable, was wrong, was inaccurate. So I knew I could trust them. And then if you see Preston's, I mean, he's my biggest influence on this particular matter. If you see his posts, you'll see it. He's gonna just like, this is the way it is. And here's the reason why I enjoyed it and why I liked
Mm-hmm.
it and why it's good. I'll give you the cons, but I didn't hear any.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's definitely going to be a pro here and through for us, being where we're at. You know, the middle class Americans, anyone in that field is definitely going to see some serious benefits from it. The ones that take advantage of the system, they're going to be affected. So be it. You know, I mean, if you take advantage of something, then uh, your sins will find you out, and eventually it's going to bite you in the butt. But as far as we're concerned, you know, I could see it definitely being an improvement overall, which is exciting and good. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of it, to say the least. Some big
Absolutely.
moves for sure.
There will be some significant savings for families. A child tax credit, for example. As long as you are reporting your child in your taxes or children in your taxes, you're getting like, I don't know, 2500 or $3,000 tax credit for that child.
So you're getting more now than
That
you were before.
that's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
That's definitely a pro for anyone.
Yeah, when you guys were younger, I think the federal government allowed us like $1,200 or something like that.
That's what it is still.
Not anymore.
Exciting. That's definitely a pro. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Waitresses aren't going to pay taxes on their tips.
Yeah.
Waiters pay tax
Or the
overtime.
overtime, right? Yep.
That is correct. You are not going
Yeah,
to pay
those two are both huge.
massive, massive. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, the pros just keep stacking up and stacking up and stack. And there's there are these memes floating around on the internet. I think everybody that would listen to this or watch this show would know that I am pro Trump, by the way. But there's this thing that's floating around, always winning. That's what I feel like is happening when I'm hearing about this big, beautiful bill, because everything on it has been good, really good.
Everything that pertains to us, yes, it's definitely a pro through and through.
Yes,
Always
absolutely.
winning.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I had on the big beautiful bill and what I've found so far. I mean, there's more. There's more. There were 290 pages, I think, on the big beautiful bill.
Wow, that's quite a bit of research.
That's a lot of reading. And if you're a full time worker somewhere in our fields, typically full time means 60 to 80 hours a week. For me, it was 62 hours a week on average. That prohibits some reading, but we catch up sometime
Hmm.
and we see the fruits of the actual bill coming into play in our income and our taxing and all that stuff.
Did you have any to kind of segue over? Did you have any trivia questions for the week?
No. Did you?
I do. Would you like to give it another shot? I made a list specifically for beginner to intermediate for specifically Marvel comics. So
Yeah.
this is going to
Yeah.
pertain to Marvel comics instead of
Okay.
Marvel. Uh,
Universe. Yeah. Okay. I'm always game to try. And it's kind of embarrassing most of the time anymore when I'm trying
shouldn't
to
be.
remember stuff. But
Just gives you a reason to go and watch those again, so that way you can do
right,
better the next time.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh yeah, I gotta watch them for the show. That's great. Yeah, hit me, bro. I
All
really
right,
wanted to try my
let's
skill.
jump
Yeah,
in. All
let's
right,
do it.
cool. We'll go ahead and go straight into it. Question number one. Back into Marvel Comics 10 questions with Chris and Noah. Will Chris get these right? Could he do better or could he do worse? We will see.
Oh, that's a drum roll.
All right, question number one. Which Marvel hero is a neurosurgeon who becomes the Sorcerer Supreme? Would you like
Oh
multiple
my
choice?
goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. I got to remember who he is. I know who he is. I know who he is, and it's
Okay.
gonna be Doctor. Oh, for crying out loud. Hmm. Yeah, he's a neurosurgeon. He has an accident. His hands can't function like they should.
Sounds like you're
Like
on the money. You
I
just got to
am.
say the name.
Matter of fact, I wanted to watch the show just
It sounds
recently.
pretty weird that you don't know.
Well, it's funny because my brain should be really skilled at remembering things because I'm 60 years old now. So
I
it
feel
should
like
have a
weird's the wrong
practice.
word. What's another word for weird that could work?
Doctor Strange.
That is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
Okay, ding ding ding. Question number one right.
I
Fairly
knew it would
easy,
come
wouldn't you
eventually.
say?
I knew I would remember at some point, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yes,
all it
sir.
takes.
Doctor Strange. Yes, sir.
All right. Question
All
number
right, good.
two.
I got 1 out of 1.
Let's keep her going. Let's keep the ball rolling. What metal is bonded to Wolverine's skeleton and claws? Would you like multiple choice on this?
It is. Yes, I would love. I would love a multiple choice, please.
Okay, multiple choice question or answer. We'll go one through or D. So
It's funny because
A.
I got vibranium stuck in my head.
Okay, so you have vibranium, and
Yeah.
then B is adamantium,
Yeah.
C carbonadium, and D titanium.
It's gonna be B. Antimania.
Adamantium. You are
Yeah. Yeah.
correct. Ding ding
Yes,
ding.
sir.
You are now on a streak. Let's keep it going. Question
First time.
number two correct.
All right.
Question number three. Which Infinity Stone is housed in Vision's forehead, in the MCU and comics?
It is
The android that was created from Jarvis,
yeah.
the
I mean,
AI.
who doesn't know who that is, right? And who probably doesn't know which stone that is? Isn't that terrible? I can't remember for the life of me which stone that is. Do you have multiple choice by any chance?
I I do, as a matter of fact. Would you like them?
Yes, I would. I'm gonna need them.
Okay. A. Is it A, Time Stone? Is it B, Power Stone? Is it C, the Mind Stone? Or D, Reality Stone?
Oh my gosh. I did not know it was any one of those. So the power, the time, I'm gonna have to say it was the Power Stone.
Is that your final answer?
And yes, it is my final answer.
Wah wah. Unfortunately, and you're gonna hate yourself for this, it was the Mind Stone.
Mind. Well, that would be the logical. That would be the logical
It
guess.
certainly would. Yes, it
Yes.
would be.
Okay. Well, that just goes to show you how much that escaped my brain. I
It's all
didn't
good.
remember. I did not remember them talking about the stone before Jarvis
You
got
gotta
it.
go watch Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah. There's so much I
Go
need to
check it
watch.
out.
All right,
Yep, go
two
check
for
it out.
three.
2 for 3. We'll keep we'll
Yes,
we'll,
sir.
we'll resume the streak. Question number 4. What's the name of the Marvel antihero who wears a symbiotic black suit? Would you like multiple choice?
Oh my God. So he's an anti-hero?
Yeah, what's the name of the Marvel anti-hero who wears a symbiotic black suit?
Symbiotic black suit. Anti. I don't. The only one that I knew that wore a black suit was.
Would you like multiple choice?
Yes, I would.
Okay, is it A, Carnage? Is it B, Venom? Is it C, Morbius? Or is it D, Ghost Rider?
Not Ghost Rider. I don't remember Morbius being in any of the comics that I read. So, gonna be Morbius.
That's your final answer?
Yes, sir, it is.
Wah wah is B, Venom.
Is it
He
really?
he is called he is known as a symbiote. So to go
Oh,
back
that.
to reiterate the question, huh?
Yeah, that's perfectly. Yes. And when you said symbiotic, I should have gotten.
It's tricky because I said symbiotic and not symbiote. And a black suit, which kind of throws you off because Venom is the suit.
Venom and Venom. Dang. Yep.
All good, all
Okay.
good. Question number
All right.
five,
So
two
two
down,
for
two
four.
wrong, two right.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
halfway. Which
All right.
Marvel superhero was frozen in ice during World War II and received decade or in
The superhero? That would be Mr. Captain America.
ding ding, you are back on the board. Now you're still positive. 3 for 5.
And
Three
three
for
for five.
five.
Whoop,
There
whoop.
it
Yep.
is. You
All
didn't even
right.
need
Here
a
we go.
multiple choice. All right, question number 6. All right, which cosmic entity is known for devouring planets in the Marvel Universe? Would you like a multiple choice?
Yes, I would like it. Yes, please.
To reiterate, which cosmic entity is known for devouring planets in the Marvel Universe? Is it A, the Watcher, B, Galactus, C, Ego, or D, Thanos?
So Thanos isn't a planet or whatever. A and B. A was what's A and B again?
A is the Watcher and B is Galactus.
I'm gonna have to say Watcher.
Is that your final answer?
It is my final answer.
Wah wah. Unfortunately, the answer is B, Galactus. He is actually known as Galactus the World Eater, Devourer of Worlds.
Is he not going to be coming up in Fantastic Four?
He will, yes, he's going to be the main villain for Fantastic Four. There to devour the planet.
Galactus.
Galactus, man, that's it. Question number 6, you are tied again. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, question number 7.
seven. Yes, I'm 3 for 3.
Which blind superhero? Yeah, you're 3 for 3. Or 3 for 6, yes. Which
Yes.
blind superhero is also known as the Man Without Fear?
Well, the only blind superhero I know of, but I didn't know he was Marvel. Could I get a multiple choice, please?
Yes. The multiple choice is A, Moon Knight, B, Cyclops, C, Daredevil, or D, Deadpool.
And that answer is going to or must be Daredevil. I mean, yeah,
Ding ding, you are correct. That is correct. You are 4 for 7.
4 for 7. Back
You
in
are
the
positive
positive.
again. Yes. This is good. This is good. This is progress.
But these are all well-known things, and doesn't that go to say what I don't know in Marvel? My
Time for
goodness.
some more research, you know?
Yes, it is. That's true. All right, go
Question
ahead.
number 8. Which Marvel superhero leads the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, that's going to be. What is Chris Pratt? What role does he play? That is blah 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 blah.
Multiple choice?
And I have to.
All right. Which Marvel superhero leads the Guardians of the Galaxy? Is it A, Thor, B, Star-Lord, C, Nova, or D, Drax?
It's going to be Star-Lord.
Ding ding ding, you are correct. That is 5 for 8. You are
8.
now getting this is much better. Now you got a cushion. You got a little cushion here.
Yes, yes,
You're not
yes.
fighting.
Yes, I'm not
Question number
getting
9, are you
disrespectful
ready?
for that. Yes, I am.
All right. Who is the founder of the mutant group known as the X-Men?
That would be Dr. Xavier. Dr.
Dr. Xavier, do you know his first name?
Xavier?
Charles Xavier, that is correct. Ding ding. Oh wait. Is that your final answer?
Is this going to be my final answer?
Ding ding ding. You got it. That is correct. You are 6 for 9.
X-Men, Xavier. That one
Yes, I mean,
came a little bit
it makes a lot
easier.
of
Yes,
sense.
sir.
It
Yes,
makes
sir.
a lot
All
of
right.
sense.
So 6 for 9. Is that true?
That is it. That is it. So let's keep her going. One more question. Are you ready for the final question?
Yes, I am. I'm redeeming
All
myself a
right,
little
to
bit.
bring it back.
So I feel like I'm redeeming myself just a little bit.
Oh, I mean, you certainly are. I mean, let's be honest here. You've been negative, I think, the past 3 times, so this is definitely an improvement.
Been kind of sad.
What Marvel character is a raccoon-like creature known for his love of weapons?
Raccoon type creature known for his love of weapons. I don't know that I ever knew his name. My star. I mean, I want to say Rocky Raccoon. I know that's not right. I think
Okay.
there was a reference to that in the Guardians that he was offended by or something like that. That is going to be, I don't know his name.
Multiple choice.
Yes, please.
All right. You've got A, Cosmo, B, Rocket, C, Howard the Duck, or D, Yondu.
It's going to be Howard the Duck. I'm just kidding.
You had me concerned. I thought you were serious.
That was great. And
So
it
final
was,
answer, Rocket?
yes, sir. Rocket is my final answer.
All right, ding, ding, ding. That is correct. You are 7 for 10. Congratulations, everyone.
7
Give
out of 10.
Chris a round of applause. Give him a round of applause because he is positive. And I mean, let's be honest, that's a major improvement.
Major improvement. What did I do last week? It was like 1 out of
I think
10.
it was 1 out of 10. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
That is actually embarrassing.
But that was MCU, and that was kind of an aggressive trivia question that I had made. This one's a little more intermediate. This one's a little more Marvel Comics
Yeah.
oriented.
Yeah, for all the rookies. And you also, I believe this time gave me a few extra multiple choice, and that
Yes,
definitely,
multiple choice helped. Yeah, instead of just
yeah,
leaving you
that increased,
guessing.
yeah, for a dumb guy like me or an old fart, one of the two.
But
But
to
thank
wrap
you.
up, yeah, I mean that's a wrap on this week's Marvel trivia. Everyone listening in, how many did you guys get right? Were you playing along? Let me know how many you guys got right. Let me know what you guys thought on the questions. Were they easy for Chris? Should I do harder ones? Should I find a different topic? Just
No
shoot me
harder.
a no
Not one
harder.
thing. No harder. Well, no. I mean, I missed 3 of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you're still positive.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I guess maybe the question is next week will be my turn, right? What am I quizzing you on next week? What do you want to be
It's
quizzed
a
on
good
next week?
question. Should we move on to a different topic? Do you want to start another segment off from Marvel, for either DC, Disney, Universal, anything in particular?
You're going to know anything about all those, right? Especially Disney,
Well,
I
you got
guess.
anything else? I mean,
Well, I
what's
mean,
something else?
all right, I'll pick. It's going to be one of those. Fair enough?
Okay,
All
let me
right.
know.
Yeah, and they won't be
I'm
elementary.
curious to see. So everyone stay tuned for next week. We will see if I can go for a clean sweep with getting all 10 right.
So we need to come up with some sound effects. When you're thinking, give it the
Doo-doo. I can do that. I have to use the website instead of the app. Oh, next time
yeah.
I'll log into that so I can add some
We'll
sounds.
come to that one of these times because we also must, if we're going to do that, we must include crowd applause, right, for when you get it
Yep.
right, and other things as well. So yeah, with a drum roll, all these different things that should be included when we're doing that in the show. So maybe when we decide to take the next leap in equipment,
I like it.
I do too.
Anything to wrap up?
Well, as always, and I'm fortunate that I'm hanging out with you because I know that your heart is a lot in the same area. But here we are, right? Here we are hanging out, doing our thing, actually having a lot of fun doing Duo Jive, talking about stuff. I don't believe we talk enough, although we do talk enough about God and how important that is in our lives. And Noah and I, you and I, are significantly wealthy when it comes to who we are, right? We're wealthy in that we have really strong relationships and people in our lives and things going on in our lives that make us wealthy, even when there's no money in the bank. A lot of people wonder how they can find that kind of peace in their life, that kind of wealth, if you will, emotional, psychological, just wealth that goes beyond description. And I can't talk about it enough, quite frequently or frankly, but if you're looking for a relationship with Jesus Christ, it is the only thing that matters in this world. So as we bow out of this week, I want to throw that out there to everybody. Can I? I did. I just did it.
You did. You did. You certainly did.
I love it when people respond to what we're doing. Like last week, we got response to the one story about Disney. Correct?
Yes.
I love that, and I hope people feel the liberty to respond however they feel, whether something negative, something positive, whatever. Right? So that's why.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of it. Is so that way we can communicate to you guys. So if you guys have anything to say or want to chat, just shoot us a DM and give us some sort of messaging, through the podcast or through our social media. Hit us up.
Um,
But it's been your hosts Noah and Chris on this week's episode of Duo Jive, and remember, live life to the fullest.